Hello, this is Carolyn, your instructor for 612. Welcome to week 10 of our course. Can you believe it? I hope you are enjoying teaching your lessons as part of your 1 or 2 social studies units, and I really hope you're taking the time to reflect on your pedagogy and on student learning after each of those lessons, because this module is all about reflection in your practice. So the big chunk of our assignment for this week is going to be to reflect on your teaching and self-evaluate your own instruction throughout your lessons. So this is an important reflective step so that you can grow as a teacher, and more importantly, to make sure that your students are meeting the objectives that you desire and that they need to meet. At the end of each lesson plan form, at the end of the lesson plan form, there's a reflection piece for you, and I'd like you to submit your 10 reflections this week in the weekly assignments and activities. These are the questions I'd like you to address in your reflections. Number 1, what extent was the student productively engaged in the lesson? So think about your student body as a whole, or even your case study student that you're focusing on, and how was their engagement, and how did you know that you have captured their attention? Did your students learn what you intended them to learn? Were the instructional objectives of your lesson met? And what data do you have to show that your students have met these learning objectives? Number 3, how did the technological resources that you plan to use work out? Were students able to benefit? Were they able to complement your units as you had planned? 4 is, were the objectives and instructional plan of the lesson that you had altered as you taught it? And it's absolutely 100% okay if it was. It's actually a sign of a great teacher who is able to adjust during the lesson based on the feedback from their students. So I'd like to know a little bit about, how that went. How did you make these decisions on the fly? What data did you use, either informal or formal, to adjust your lessons and bring you through that decision-making process? Number 5 is, how did your resources or strategies that you chose affect the student's ability to meet your lesson objectives? And then 6 is, if you had this opportunity to redo this lesson, have a do-over, would you do anything differently? And if so, explain why. This will be the rubric that I'll use for evaluating your reflections. The final piece of the assignment of this week's assignment is to do some more reading about the constructivist approach, and specifically in regard to technology. So you'll read chapter 5 of the text, Constructivist Approach to the NETs, the technology standards, and you'll be asked to complete an activity of your choice in the discussion forum. So you have 4 choices in the discussion forum. You can just choose one. Number 1, find a professional group, a professional teaching education resource that's associated to either your age range of teaching, certification, or a topic or content area that you're interested in exploring, and what kind of learning opportunities does that resource have available to you as a professional. Or you could locate and explore a informal learning opportunity that might enhance your teaching practice in regard to social studies. Or you could explore a distance education opportunity that may help you grow in your practice. Or you could find a wiki or a blog that may help increase your effectiveness, improve student learning. It's important to have a plan for professional growth. I discussed this with some of you earlier, but sometimes when you're teaching, it's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, and it's important to have a plan for reflection and a plan for professional growth so that you can follow through with it. So this discussion post will help you start thinking about what your plan will be for the future when you have a full-time teaching position. All right, that kind of sums up this week. I hope you enjoy wrapping up your lessons and start thinking about the reflection process. And let me know if you have any questions.